Zels, the roster has delivered for us. He said 14 players would play. He had to decide whether they'd be in the starting lineup or they would be on the bench. Well, they're in the starting lineup, basically. Very few left in that starting lineup. But the biggest thing for me is Dwayne Vermeulen retired at the end of the World Cup 2020. He started at number 8. The only 2 players not available from that because of injury, Sia Khaleesi and Frans Malherbe. The rest are all available to play this Saturday. He's picked none of the team that won us the World Cup a year and a bit ago. Beautiful. That's amazing.
Beautiful.
11 changes to the 15 and 17 to the 23.
Right. What more did you want? I mean, that's the great thing about
I wanted 22 out of 23. I wanted to do a France.
There's nothing predictable about this team, mate, with Rassie at the helm. You always know you're going to have these surprises. That's why you can never guess these teams. I love the fact that after a disappointing performance, instead of sort of backing up and sort of saying, listen, you guys need to redeem yourselves, it's like, hey, we're bringing in a whole bunch of new guys. We're going to get their playing minutes up. And there's a bit of jeopardy in this because, like I said, Italy will look at this and think, flip, we've got a chance against a team that's relatively lacking in cohesion. We can maybe do it again this week and hold them to under 20 points. So it just creates a lot of interest in the game. It puts, I wouldn't say pressure, but the guys that are picked to play this week have a real opportunity to make a statement in front of Rassie, and that's a fantastic place to be.
No, I think it's huge pressure on the Boks, and that's what you want. He's creating an environment that is kind of World Cup type, saying, I need to see how good you are now, not in 2027. If you can't beat Italy at home, you're not going to beat anyone in a playoff game at the World Cup. And you've got to back this team to beat Italy. Last week we said the 15 sitting in the stands were good enough to win, whether it's by a point or by 30. But when you look at his game time management, just think of the 3 fly-offs. Sasha, 45 minutes, Mani comes on. Andre gets 80. Mani starts this weekend. You're probably off on 45. Sasha comes on. And then by Georgia, and that's going to be like, let's throw forward to Georgia. Is Georgia going to be a hit out for the team that's going to play the Wallabies? Or is it going to be exactly the same? He's going to go mix and match, and he's going to play 2 different sides against the Wallabies in South Africa. I'm betting he's probably going to go that route.
I agree. I think that's exactly what he'll do. And I mean, you spoke about the pressure being on the team. I feel like the guys that aren't playing this week in the stands may be sweating more because after what they put on the field last week, they'll be kind of hoping that these guys don't shoot the lights out this week because where does that leave them, you know? I think the competition for places is right up there.
I think it's the kind of 42 points, it's what he wanted. He didn't want to concede 24, but he'll look back and say it's the kind of match he actually wanted because it allows no one that safety net. His comments were Rassie type when he said, no, look, they are definitely regulars. I don't know if they're first choice anymore. And I just wanted to say to them, you lied to me. You said you would die for the jersey. You didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And no one is bigger. They're very cautious with Sia Khaleesi at the moment. But when you look at that, we played around early in the week with some combinations.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the combinations we would have chosen. We thought Willie was going to get his 100th in Cape Town in front of the family, and it's going to be beautiful. Well, Kabera is not too far from Strand, so 9-hour drive. He's giving him there. Is this a sign, no Apele Fassi, no Dami Williams in the 23, that those are your go-to guys in the Rugby Championship, and Willie will be an insurance policy on the peripheral? They get him to his 100th. They've walked him over this line.
Yeah.
And you've been an incredible servant. Hasta la vista. We'll call you, don't call us.
Look, I think definitely Apele Fassi and Gaza are the guys at 15 for now in Rassie's plans. I don't think Rassie is as binary as that, so I think he'll keep Willie around until he's got another third choice guy that could potentially push those other 2 blokes. Nobody's going to get comfortable in this team ever as long as Rassie's around. That's a fact. And so I think Willie Leroux will play a part for as long as he's needed. And I think he's still got a lot of value that he adds. I still love what he does at first receiver, and I think that's quite unique in our team and how he can unlock teams. He's the only player in the world that can throw 9 out of 10 forward passes and the ref never blows any of them. I mean, that's a unique superpower. So,
well, the TMO got it in the British and Irish Lions series, and I'd still wonder if that was a forward pass.
Let's rewind and
check. What do you say, Warren Gatlin?
One thing we do have to say is that as much as this is an exciting team, there are a bunch of Oaks coming back. You haven't played rugby since I don't know when, you know?
Okay, we're talking of that. So I said there's only one player that started the 2003 World Cup final in that 12-11 win, dramatic win against the All Blacks, and that's Peter Steph Toy, and he hasn't played for a year.
And he's 32.
He hasn't played all season.
Yeah.
But then he'll probably he'll just fire away for 80 minutes there in the engine. That guy's got.
In whistle, mate.
He'll be playing into Georgia.
Exactly.
He'll just still be tackling.
Exactly. On the bus. Or the
that 12 looks a bit different. Yeah, he's in a different jersey. So Peter Steph back. Jasper gets another go.
Yep.
He also didn't look like a guy who hadn't played for 5 months, Jasper Visser. So, and I mean, you look at that loose trio, Marco van Staden, Peter Steph, Toy, Jasper Visser. I mean, that's a power loose trio. He's picked very cleverly as well again, because that backline is a very good backline. Grant Williams also hasn't played for the best part of 4 months, but him and Mani Lebok are a wonderful combination with Sasha to come off the bench as well. He's really saying to someone like Grant Williams, show us what you've got. He knows what he's got in Kobus Reinach. He knows what he's got in Faf, okay? And there's no guarantee either will make it to the World Cup. Jaden, he's sending him back to kind of think about his game. And Kapi's good without being exceptional. Still needs to ask a few more questions. This is a game made for Grant Williams to say that I could be your guy going in there. And he's clearly not ever going to throw Mani away. He knows how injuries work. So it's Mani, Pollard, and Sasha. I'm still thinking Sasha's going to be the guy if he's fit that takes us into the rugby championship. However, nice to see Thomas the Tank back, and then Samuel Murat captaining the side. And Rassie's been adamant about that from the outset. I see him as a Springbok regular. I see him as a Springbok captain in the future. So very interesting side. And, to spring the surprise, to see Evan Roos there.
Fantastic.
I think Evan Roos is still looking at their Google Doc, wondering, can he open it?
Am I really playing?
Is this just a ruse? Yeah. Evan Roos, is this a ruse?
Yeah. I'm very excited about this team. I like the guys that are going to be making their debuts, and Tlabakanye, Kobus Visser, and obviously Ethan Hooker. Very keen to see where he slots in. That'll be exciting. And then just interesting from an age perspective. I mean, this is a completely overhauled team with a bunch of guys that aren't regulars. So you'd expect it to be, I suppose, traditionally younger. And Kanan Moody's the youngest guy in the team at 22. But the next youngest guy is Ruan Nokia at 26 years old. You've got 7 30-year-olds in the squad. So our points that we've been making about this team having to transition before the next World Cup, I think are valid. The average age of this team is around 29 years old, and they'll need to be a couple of years younger by the time they get to the World Cup.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Willie obviously takes them over that 29 and a half.
Well, Kobus Visser and Kobus Reinach and Makazole Mapupia are both halfway to 70. So there's some old.
Yeah, well, combined they are 70, eh?
Exactly.
But they are bloody good 70.
Good players.
That way.
Great players, but probably not the future.
Nice to see Jan Hendrik there. Taking on 2 roles, hooker and prop.
Yeah.
I mean, the versatility of that guy.
Yeah.
You said it. He was Rassie's special project for a while. He's going to be sensational. The two, the Visser brothers, Kobus and Jasper, they'll become another part of the brother doubles that have kind of made it into a Springbok test team. Ethan Hooker, I'm so glad he's there. Where he plays, we don't know, depending on how the game goes, whether he gets introduced in the centres or on the wing.
Oh, a flank, mate. You've got to be versatile.
Just at this stage. And I'm glad to see Andre the Giant there. I want to see him do some damage. The big one for me, though, I'm just really chuffed that Kanan Moody gets a gap and he gets...
Yeah, big time. At 13, exactly.
But the last time I saw you so excited about a teammate was when he made 15 changes, I think, and we played Wales and lost.
Exactly.
We said, this team's great. Look at these
That's what I
individuals.
said to you, mate. This team's got that look about it. It's almost like the Patsy 15. You just wonder, like, are these guys being set up?
But there are too many good ones here for it to go wrong. Because
keep that on tape.
yeah, I mean, you don't go wrong when you got Peter Steph Toy there, mate. You don't go wrong when you got Malcolm Marks there, mate. You certainly don't go wrong when you got Oxen Cheer coming off the bench.
Mate, I just think in between Wilco Low, Marco van Staden, and Jasper Visser, you've got 3 guys that probably aren't going to say more than 5 words this week. They're going to keep the ship steady and going forward, guaranteed.
But now, because people say we say mate too much, you can say, hey, Kazi, Uri,
China.
Usu. China, hey, what's going on, Mark, hey?
We need more James Dalton, mate.
That's not James Dalton, that's just Joburg, mate.
I'm sorry.
I'll send James to give you a clap, eh? Listen here, boo. What's going on, eh? Boks by 10? We're going to chat tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do the whole preview once we have the All Black and the French squad. So we're going to give you 3 little episodes this week. We just thought we had to chat about any Bok team that has 17 changes to the 23, 11 changes to the 15, no Sio Khaleesi, none of these World Cup heroes. It really is testing our depth. We're going to give our score predictions tomorrow. Zels, I know, is chatting to the money man later today when it comes to bets and all that stuff. But go to our WhatsApp channel. If you want an Italian jersey, who scores the first try? It's going to be on SA Rugby Magazine socials, on the Kia and Zels WhatsApp channel. Enter and win with a Macron Italian jersey. Remember that Barbar's jersey is coming. The Boks by 10 range will be coming in the next couple of weeks. Zels, is this the 23 you expected?
Mate, absolutely not. I think we've kind of nailed that down. I don't know if you and I had picked a team we'd ever have got to this one.
Never.